So dear students, in our last section we have seen the complete details of hardware architecture of embedded system, and in this section we will see the software architecture of embedded system. So the software architecture of embedded system mainly contains the operating system, communication software and application software. So operating system plays the vital role in any embedded system. So because of by using that only we can do any specific task with the software and hardware. So the every computing device, whether it is mainframe desktop computer or any embedded system, there is a need of piece of software by using which the user interacts with the hardware. Whenever we are using any embedded system or any particular system, then the system needs the software, and by using which one can interact with the hardware. So each job is done by invoking the application software. So whenever we want to do the specific job, specific task, the application software is responsible for performing that particular task. Now we know that each job is called as process if it is used in the desktop system, and each job is called as task when it is used in the embedded system. So whatever jobs we are going to do in our embedded system are nothing but the tasks, which are called as tasks in embedded system. So the each task needs the memory and access to the input output devices. So each and every task which we are having in our system needs the memory as well as access to input output device, because by using that only the task gets executed. So the basic the basic functions of operating system is process and task management, memory management, input output management, including managing the file system, providing the services to the application, providing the user interface. These are the basic functions or services that are provided by any particular system. Basically, the operating system is divided into different categories, that is the single tasking OS versus multitasking OS, single user OS versus multi user OS, command driven OS versus GUI based OS. When our system is doing only particular single task, at that time we can use single task OS. When parallel tasks should be executed, at that time multitasking OS can be used. Whenever it will be handled by only one user, it single user is used. Same way for multiple user OS is used. Command driven OS is responsible by using which by for using it we can give the commands, and then the execution is done. And in GUI based, GUI is nothing but the interface by using which the functionalities can be done. So these are the various categories that are used in the particular operating system. So compared to desktop, embedded systems have the special requirements like reliability, multitasking with time constraint, small footprint, support diskless system, portability, scalability, support for standard API and all. So whenever we are using the operating system, basically the services that are offered by the operating system are user interface, program execution, file support manipulation, input output operation, then communication, resource allocation, error detection, security and protection. So user interface is as I already said, by command driven and GUI based, we can have the interface by using which by using which we can have our execution can be done by the command or by the GUI. Then program execution is done according to the need by using the memory and input output devices. File systems are used because we can read and write the files and directories, and that's why file handling is the main part of operating system, by using which the specific work can be done and it can be stored again. The communication system, because many times whenever we are using memory, the swapping is done. Whenever your task is already executed, the memory is released and it will be given to another particular task. So that memory swapping is also done when we are using the operating system. Resource allocation. As we know, the various resources are required by the various devices. That allocation has been done according to priority. Error detection is done because it is responsible for giving us the access to CPU, input output devices and the program. So it gives us the error detecting environment by using which we can have all the tasks to be executed. So, as I said, the software architecture contains the operating system, application software, and communication software. So, now we have seen the operating system and the functions and services provided by operating system, that is mainly process management, that is task management, because task management is itself responsible for execution of each and every task according to priority. Memory management, as I said, whatever memory is utilized, so the memory is allocated to each and every task for the execution. Input output management, input output devices are given access so that they can run their particular job. Services are provided to the application and it provides the user interface by using which we can have the execution. These are the services that are provided by the particular operating system. Now the next is application software. So application software is nothing but the program, or we can say that it is group of programs that are designed for the end users. What is application software? It is nothing but the collection of programs. So we can have the particular application software by using which the software can be run separately and may be coded as the proprietary open service source, or the particular for project application software can be used. So basically, actually, application software is nothing but the group of programs that are designed for end user. So according to the need of our particular system, the application software is used. Like we have seen, simulator can be used for any particular system. So according to our need, the application software is used. Means if any particular system requires simulation, we can use the simulator. So each and every system is having the different need. So according to that different application and need, the application software is used. And basically nowadays they are bundled with the computer and the software, and because of that it's easy to use the application software because we can directly run that. The next is communication software. Communication software is used to provide the remote access to the system, and it because of communication software we can exchange the files and messages with the other computer and users. So now again, according to the need, the communication is done. Suppose we want to exchange the messages, we want to exchange the various files. According to that, the communication software is responsible for providing the communication interface, and we can have the exchange of the whatever messages we want to share in between the tasks. So that is all about the software architecture, which mainly contains the operating system, services, application software and communication software. Thank you.